Right, get in the tripod here so you can see what's going on. Today we got an unboxing. Luckily there's lots of knives on hand to open this up. Found out it is cheaper and worth it to go several cities away to Burnaby rather than going to Canadian Tire for batteries. If I go to Canadian Tire, I get the cheap Chinesium 18 amp hour batteries. They end up costing me $100 a piece. And they last a year, like these last ones did. I go all the way into Burnaby. I get 20 amp hour batteries. And they work out to $336 for 4. They last 3 years. So there we go. Now I gotta put these in that. Get rid of the rest of those. At least, 60 pounds of them. I should be able to get 10 or 12 bucks in scrap. Okay. I'm gonna get started on that. I'll pull the battery packs off and put them on table. Alright, it shouldn't be too difficult to process here. Just undo these 5 bolts on each one and open them up. Got to be careful on the bottom of each one here. There's a captured nut in there and a couple of them fall out. They're not captured so well. So we'll do our best. We're going to do one battery at a time so that we don't cross any wires anywhere. How exciting, you get to watch me undo bolts. I made an offer today that I'm very tempted by. I have to think about. Well, a lot of effort. Caused a lot of stress to a few people. But I have to consider my personal well-being over other people in some instances, and this is one of them. Find my wrench. Oh wait, we got a socket. No, still got to find my wrench. 8mm wrench. Where would that be? And the bottom of a toolbox. Over the other end of the room. Look, an 8mm wrench. All right. try not to lose these nuts and bolts. I don't need them anymore, but try not to lose them anyway, because it might be useful for something else down the line. Well, now comes the exciting part. To peel this out. Put it down with his dead brethren. Kijo electric vehicle battery. The proper one. With the proper brand new bolts. I just had a knife to open that box. Do you think I can find a knife? No. There we go. And now, because we don't need the wrench no more. There. The next one out. These things have changed very little over the years. When I first bought a set, they were a green box with a black top. Now, black box with a brown top. But it's the same battery. Is that? Oh, fuck. Yep, I need to replace a wire. She broke. Okay. Well, I'll crimp a new wire on the end of there, and I'll get back to you. I swear this wiring has more patches than an Amish quilt, but she still does the job. Okay, what we got in here? We got a big long serial number on there, not a date, which is fine. Okay. Last one on this pack. Swap in a new one. Bye-bye. Hello. That's beautiful. Huge fucker. All right. Jeez, it's got the right number of bolts and everything. Look at that. Oh, I'm spoiled. Oh, there we go. Get that down there tight. All right, that's one. I'll do that one up. And do the other one up. And we'll hook them up and see what happens. All right, we got them hooked up here. Got one standing on top of its dead brethren and plugged in. And I'm plugging into that before I hook everything up here. Let's see how she works. Throttle works, brake works, lights work, everything's good. And I know I'm going to have high cranking amps. As the batteries get less and less full, you have less cranking amps, so less ability to push. So you go from 4 lights to 3 lights to 2 lights to 1 light, and then it goes low battery. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to plug it in and charge it. See how far I have to charge it to get it all to absolute top end. But before I put the battery packs back in, I'm going to inspect everything because this has had some weight on it. This hasn't dropped, has it? This has in fact dropped, I think. I'll sketch out here so you can see. The front end has not dropped on either of them. No, that little tab there is still pressed up against the metal. As this end dropped. This little tab here in the back should be up against... No, this is dropped by about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so this piece is bent. This is bent down about 1/8 of an inch, so I'll bend that back up. I'll shorten this strap by a tiny amount. And this end, that has dropped significantly, so that'll be pushed back up. That'll go up there, and I might put a self-tapper in, well, in a little bit. This chain, the last couple of times I've been out, has been dragging against this metal, making a pinging noise. I don't like that. That's what clued me into this. So I'll do some bending and twisting and cutting and changing and tightening. Lift this up. This whole box has to go up, so this presses against the, what's it called there, swing arm. I'll try and put a self-tapper into it, just to hold it in place. Same on the other side, I'll bend it up. I'll shorten this strap, definitely needs to be shortened, probably by more than 1 inch. This one's still tight. I'll leave it as it is, because they're sitting relatively level. But that one, when you get weight on it, it drops, drags on the chain. So yeah, I'll lift that one up, shorten the strap so it doesn't dangle any further. Then I'll put it back together. Whew, getting a head rush. Okay, so the next step, since I'm waiting for a proper size of inner tube to arrive so I can put the proper size of tire back on, that's a 2.25 as opposed to a 2.5, which will get me a little bit more space between the road surface and the metal rim. Also, this is a much harder rubber, less flex to it. This is really squishy stuff. All right. So, know after the next step has happened, and I'll show you, because it's not that interesting. Hammering on stuff, punching another hole in the strap, and shortening it up. Okay. Let you know when all the stuff's done, and I'll show you. Okay, so Tightened up the front brakes a bit, which is, it's as may be, but got that strap shortened up by about an inch. Well, by about 2 inches actually. It was hanging really loose. They're sitting relatively level, which is good. On both sides, which is good. So that's fine. The new shocks are working out really well. The wobble on the back wheel, or the wobble on the back end, I am still... I'm blaming it on the soft tire. I checked everything else. Everything else seems to work and run properly. With the trays straightened out, battery tray straightened out, the chain should be dragging on anything now, which means it'll be easier to actually pedal when I have to, which I don't physically have to, but when you're leaving a dead stop, if you don't turn the pedals, the police will assume it's a motorcycle, not a bicycle, and they'll pull you over and fine you. So when I'm leaving an intersection, when I'm leaving a dead stop, I turn the pedals around twice. It works. I mean, it's only a 350 watt motor. It doesn't leave a dead stop at full speed. You got to build up to it. But with the bigger batteries on there, or the brand new batteries on there, proper amp hour, I should be able to make it to the farm supply tomorrow, which I'm going to be going for, to potentially pick up cat litter, because I need some. And as that stands, gotta make sure I have the front end down to do this. So it being back heavy and all. Brakes work. Alright, so that should about do it for today. And as soon as that inner tube comes in, I gotta take that whole back end off again, change the tire and tube properly, and then put it all back together again. So, until that happens, I'll see you next time.